Circle. This is going to be a shaded ball. That's going to, just like a clean rubber ball. Just make a circle. And I don't know if you can see this, so I'll do it a couple of times, right? So I'll do it really dark here so you can see it. So you're going to draw a circle. It doesn't matter. I would do it light, the pencil. Use the pencil. So you're going to go light. So this is a circle, and then you're going to draw a line. That's going to be on like a table. So you're just going to draw a line out here like that. I'm doing this nice and dark, hopefully that you can see it, but I'm also going to go back to doing it just in pencil because it's going to look better if I do it in pencil. So here's my line. What's that? You might have a headache because you're sick. You're not sick? Oh, okay. Well, if you're done being sick, you don't need to wear a mask. But now you have one for if you are sick. So, we have, you do not need to label this, but you need to think about this. Just listen. Light. You do not need to label this, but you need to think about this. It's coming this direction. Okay? And we're going to have it pretend the light's out there, and the light casts a shadow that comes out this way onto the table. So the table's on a surface, and the light might come on top a little bit, and we'll have an oval that is as long as that cast shadow. Now, I'm going to draw this again in the dark graphite so you can see this. We have the light's coming this way, right? And we have the light creates this angle out here, right? And we've seen this done with street lights. You don't need to draw this line if you don't want to. You really don't. And then that line, this is your shadow. That's how long your shadow is going to be. You need to think about this when you're doing. Can you see that? Can you all see that? Okay, so you see how that, and hopefully you can see it here. I don't know if you can see it here. I'm going to make this dark because this is going to be my shadow. Which one is this? That's actually not a very dark, that's not a very dark graphite stick. You use your graphite stick. I like to keep it really dark so you can see it on the screen. So I'm going to use this graphite pencil. Hopefully this shows up more. So you can actually have a very long shadow depending on where your light is. There's my shadow, and here is my ball.
Please pardon the interruption. Peyton Church, please come to Leroy's room. Phoenix.
Does this make sense? Okay. And you can see it. Hopefully we can see it. So we have light here. We are not going to shade the top portion of this. We might not even have this line up here. We're going to break this into different gradations. Actually, we're going to set this aside for just a moment. Notice this long, elongated surfboard shape. That's kind of the shape of our shadow. You can shade that in. I'm going to set this aside, and I want you to do a preparatory exercise I should have begun with, but it's okay to do it right now. What we're going to do is, and you can see I've got this stuff down. On a piece of paper, new piece of paper, new piece of paper. We're going to draw ourselves a little box. And I want to break this into segments. And if you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then grayscale. Do you see where I'm going with this? Okay, we're going to go this. We're going to fill this in completely. So there's black and white. So you're going to have a box, you break it in half, and each one of those into thirds. So you have 6 segments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you have just 5, it's not a big deal. It's fine. We're going to leave this one completely white. Okay? And we're going to make this one completely black. We're going to fill it in. And so I like to start there. Now, you can get into some troublesome situations here as you do this. You might need an extra piece of paper under your hand or half a piece of paper. I like to do that. I don't really care if you smudge a little bit because it's just an exercise. But this is an important trick when you're doing things so you don't... Who likes to draw in here? You ever gotten graphite with your hand accidentally all over your paper and kind of wrecked it?
Even when you don't have anything on your finger.
Yeah, it can happen. So I'm just going to bring this up here and I'm going to fill this in dark black. So this is where the graphite stick helps. So you use your graphite stick and hopefully you've got a nice a nice graphite stick, and you can just fill that in absolutely as dark as it'll go. Dark for the black segment. I don't care if you rotate it, that's fine. If you want to rotate it, that's fine. I'm not rotating mine because it's on camera, and I'm trying to practice holding things still so it's easier to see. But that should be about as black as it'll go. It may not go all the way black, but yeah. That looks good. It's looking good. There is not a trick to this, it's just a process. So the process in between is to go, so this should be your medium gray in the middle, right? This should be quite dark. This should be pretty light. So I'm going to do the next one up. You do not have to do them in a particular order. You can do them in the order you want. I'm just going to try to go the almost black, but not quite dark. I'm using the side of it so I can have a nice even shading. And I might even use my blender to smooth it out. So that's about a medium. That would be good for the next one. I'm going to go a little darker. And go back over that again, probably twice. We're doing this from black to white and the gray in between. So this is a very dark gray here. I'm going to go a little darker. It's not my black, but it's getting there. It's approaching that really black shade there. And I might actually take my graphite, my blender, and lightly blend it. Now you don't have to do that if you don't want to. That's fine. You can do this also with cross hatching. It's a nice way to do that as well. Now on the next one, I'm going to do it again, and it's just a little lighter. The graphite sticks, they're not that expensive. You can usually find them at an art supply. They're usually not thick like this. There's kind of a classroom supply. But so you can see this one's still, it's about medium. You want this one about medium. I'm going to go a shade lighter. And at some point, if you want to switch to your Ticonderoga pencil, that might be good too, because that's nice and light. And I'm going to switch to my Ticonderoga, my yellow pencil here, to the next one up, and you'll notice that should be even lighter. So, this is my grayscale. This is very simple, but it should be done with a level of attention. Yes, very nice. Nice. Good. This one should be just like you go for. That's the right idea. Okay, good. Right idea. Yes. Once you're done with that, you put your name on that and set that aside. And this is lesson is this? Lesson 7, part 1. 7.1. There's a 2-part lesson. All right. Huh? We are done with the grayscale. Once you're done with the grayscale, put your name on that and set that aside. Yes, you can put that in your folder. So, now, we are going to take the we will refer back to the grayscale a little bit. So, the darkest part of your ball is not the furthest from the light. Okay, that's what you'd think, that the darkest part of the sphere is the farthest from the light, like over here. The darkest part is actually inside of that, because on the darkest part, the furthest from the light, there's actually bounce light onto it. There will be glowing around here on the table, and it'll bounce back onto there, and it will be less dark. So the actual darkest part is going to be probably about in here. It will fade to lighter and very, very light up here. So you can think about the lightest part like white, and then it's light, and then kind of dark. So we're going to use this grayscale, and then the cast shadow should not be black, but you can actually have some black right here. That'll be black. And then it's going to fade lighter. So the middle of the shadow is going to be dark, black, and then the outside of the shadow is going to fade a little bit toward the edge of the shadow, like this. So I'm going to start with that cast shadow first. It's pretty even, but it still does fade a little lighter toward the edge. That's not always how shadows work, but it is often how they work. Notice, the shadow isn't one consistent color. It fades just a little bit. It goes from about your black to about your medium. Maybe into the gray, into the middle, but black to almost black. So black to dark, however you want to call it. And then just inside of that, we're going to make this section in here our black section of the ball. And this is where I might need an eraser, might not. So I have left this edge here fairly white. It's not going to stay white, it's going to get shaded. And it's for bounce light. It's going to be dark, it's just not quite as dark as the black. I'm sorry, it's hard for me to hear over the chairs being set. Is it blurry? Oh, thank you. Is this better? Good. Damien, are you okay with scooting over so Gabe can sit over there? Because I think he might be better to sit closer. So just share the table there. So over here, we're going to have a fairly dark gray. It's going to be medium. Notice that it's not quite as dark as the darkest section. And then we're going to fade toward our lightest point. A lot of people fade way too close and they just leave it as a dot. You want it the whole top of it to be pretty light. Huh? Damien's going to scoot over and you're going to share a table. You will not be able to spread out as much as usual. You're just going to take your paper over there and you're going to have a seat. So you can leave your stuff over there. You can go back there in just a moment. I am trying to follow the contour of the ball. Good. I'm switching over to my Ticonderoga to do the light shading up here. A little darker in here. Does this make sense? The grayscale really matters in this drawing. Can you see the display here? Can you see the lesson that's up here? And I don't want to smudge my... Well, that didn't help. That smudged things just as well as anything. You kind of need a brush to brush things off sometimes. Does this make sense? I can use my blender to blend a little bit on that both the shadow and the ball. You do not want to blend too much and wreck the tone. You want to maintain your grayscale. And follow the contour of the ball. Okay, the important thing here, we have a light source and we have, I'll write this in here. Don't write this in. This is for you to know. Right in here, we have bounce light. If you want to write it, you can write that. Yeah. We have a little bounce light in here. Not a ton, but it really helps. And you can, if you've overdone it, you've overshaded it, it helps. You can use a little bit of a eraser in there. And it's just the edge. Does this make sense? And I know we're having trouble. I'm going to stop with the recording and I'm going to show you guys what I've got going on here in person.